Hello everyone. So in this video we're gonna run a linear regression analysis. So the problem that we have here is providing us with two columns, all right, and this is the advertisement spending in one of the columns, and the second one is the weekly sales. So the question is there any relationship between the advertisement and the weekly sales? And if there is a relationship, how can we put it into a model or equation? Once we have the equation, we can do prediction, or we can have an expectation at least. All right. And all of this work is done on Excel. So let's get into it. All right. So this is the first question here, and they are asking you to graph the scatter plot and put the labels on the X's and the Y's. All right, how to do this in Excel? So first of all, I'm gonna go to insert, then I'm gonna go to this chart over here. So this is the one having two dots, that's you can see is scatter. All right, so I'm gonna select just the first one. So I purposely selected an empty chart. So now, how do you add the data to it? You're gonna right click. Oh, by the way, I'm using a PC, so everything is in PC here. And what you're gonna do, once you do the right click, you get the menu, so you select the data. All right, so once you get this interactive table, you're gonna add the data in here. So click on this one, and here it's asking you to fill up this different part of the table, right? So the series name, that stands for the name of the chart. All right, and you can see it over here, chart title, right? So I can click on this arrow, that's gonna be more precise. And then I'm gonna go and select, well, I put the name of the chart here is sales based on advertising spending. So I just click on this cell, and that's title is gonna be transferred there. All right, do you see it? It changed already. Now it's asking you about the series of the X values. So again, I'm gonna click on this one and then select all the X's. All right, so from 2 all the way to 12. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the Y's. So click on this arrow and select the Y's, and you are all set. All right, once you say okay, you're done, and you can see the scatter plot over here. Now there is two parts of this question. You want to add the X labels and the Y labels. So what you can do is you can click on this plus sign here, and you put X titles, so you can see the titles. Double click on inside the box, select everything, and that's obviously the Y axis. So I'm gonna type what is the Y is labeled as weekly sales, right? So okay, done with the Y axis. I'm gonna do the same thing with the X axis. Okay, all set with the labeling, all set with the graph, and I'm gonna keep it this way for later, right? So let's move on to the next question. So the next question is asking you to, using Excel, you want to add the trend line, you want to figure out the R squared, and you want to figure out the slope, the y-intercept, and the equation of a line. In this part, we're going to do two different ways. All right, so the first way, we're going to use the previous chart. So I'm just going to copy it and move it over here, right? All right, so once you have this chart or a copy of this chart, what you're going to do, you're going to select any of the points on the chart. Make sure you click on it with the left click, and then all of them, they're going to be highlighted, right? Then you still in there, you have to right click on them right now, and you get this menu, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna add a trend line in there. So once you click on add trend line, you're going to see different functions. Of course, we are doing only a linear modeling for this. Obviously, it looks like a line. And then what you want to do is you want to go all the way to the bottom, and you want to don't set intercept to any value. So skip the first box. However, you want to display the equation on the chart, and you want to display the r squared. And that's basically it. You don't need this chart, you just need this equation that's start displaying there. You can select it if it is not visible, and you increase the font size. All right, so this should be good. Now, one thing I didn't say before this, that why we do the scatter plot, because we want to know whether this scatter plot have any trend on it. All right, and the trend that we can see here, that before even graphing this line, that the points are lined up. All right, or there is a model that can predict these points somehow as a line. All right, and this line obviously is going to be y equals to 4.3674 times x plus 11.014. And the r squared that we are looking for, that's called determination coefficient. As well, we're going to make interpretation later on for it. Right now, probably you want to determine the a and the b. Obviously, the a is the number next to the x. All right, that's going to be 4.3674, and the b is going to be the 11.014. All right. Okay, so that was the first method to find it. Okay, for the second method, what I needed the table. So I just copied the table, and I need some more space here. All right, so for this task, you need a data table on Excel. However, the data analysis here is not always available for you. All right, so what you want to do is you want to activate it. And how do you activate it on Excel is on PC as well. You're gonna go to File, you're gonna go all the way to More, and then you have to Options, right? So once you are in Options, you wanna go to Add-ins table, click on it, and once you are in Add-ins, you are looking for Excel Add-ins here, and go. So you get this interactive table, and what you have is analysis tool pack. You need to activate it. Usually if you don't have the data analysis, this is not activated. So you just click on the box, make sure it's checked, and say okay. Once you put okay, this you should appears under data table. So now once we have it, we're gonna use it. So this is basically all the statisticals tests are on Excel located in that place. So now we open this, and you have to scroll down on your table until you get to regression. So once you get to regression here, you make sure it's highlighted, say okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on this, and this is saying clearly the Y range, right? So make sure it's selecting the Y's. And for this one, I'm gonna select even the labels over there, right? So I'm including the labels and the values. And I do the same thing for the X. So this one is gonna be the X values here. And then I need to check this box. Since I selected the label, that box has to be checked. Now, there are more options. We are not getting there, so we just need to have the output somewhere, right? And the output I'm going to choose to be on the same page. So whenever it's same page, output range, you should be selecting a cell where you're going to have the output. So I'm selecting it over there. So that's going to be the beginning of the output. The other options here, you can select a new worksheet and you select the name, or you can workbook. All right, more convenient to have it on the same worksheet. So we're done. So you say okay, and you get all this table here. Okay, so once you get this output here, so I'm not going to go over all the numbers. I'm gonna just stick with the question. So there are two values that you need to figure out. They are the intercept, you can see it here, and these the advertising spending in thousands. So this is the A and this is the B, right? The intercept obviously is the y-intercept, and this one is going to be the value of the A. Okay, so this is the two values I'm looking for first, and the other two values that I'm interested in, this one, the multiple R and the R squared, and let's give them some colors. If you are looking for the equation of a line, it would be ax plus b, and this is going to be the a times x plus b, right? And basically that's all what you need for this question. All right, now these values, we're going to need them later. We're going to get back how we use them. All right, okay, so what I did, I just copied the first three rows from the table that I have originally. I don't really need the values, so I'm gonna delete them. And I copied the part of the output of the intercept and advertising spending coefficient, basically, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just place the spending, which is 4 advertising spending, right? 4 and 9 in this column, all right? And then I'm going to use the Excel function form in order to calculate the other ones, right? So this is your equation. You're going to be starting with the equal sign, and then I'm going to select the A. So this one, it is a good idea to as well to lock it or use the F4. If you don't have F4 on your keyboard, you can just place a $sign before the letter and a $sign before the number, right? So I am selecting this cell still, but why I put the fix? Because whenever I drag it down, this cell does not go down. All right, so usually whenever you drag down on Excel a function, all the cells, they go down as well, right? So now what I'm going to do, once I selected that one, I'm gonna multiply it, so Shift and 8, and then multiply it by X, but the X for me is 4 here, right? So I'm gonna click on 4, and then I'm gonna add plus sign, and again I'm gonna select the intercept and lock it. So that's selecting, and then if you have F4 it would be great, otherwise $sign before the letter and $sign before the number, right? And as soon as I click enter here, it's gonna give me the value, that's mean 28.48, and that is in thousands. That's mean if you spend $4,000 on advertisement, you will generate a weekly sale of 28,000 around, right? Now how can I get for 9,000? It's really simple on Excel. Just select this cell and either copy it and paste or either drag it. So you can drag it down, and this is going to generate the second one, right? And if you double click in here, you can see that the cell they are used, the 9, the 11 here, and this, right? So our equation is good. So again, if you spend $9,000 on advertising, we are predicting about $50,000 on sales. And that's the end of this part. So question number 7, they wanted to plot the least square line. So what is least square line? Is exactly the trend line, right? And we did it earlier, graphically at least, right, from the graph, and we used the trend line, right? Now they wanted to use the two predicted points, x equals to 9 and x equals to 4, which is the table on question number 6, and they wanted to use this information to graph the regression line manually. Now, we are not doing it manually, we're gonna use Excel. So how do you do it on Excel to graph the same line again? Since we have the 2 points, we just have to plot the 2 points first. So how do you do this? You're gonna click on the graph, right click right now, select data, and we're gonna add a new plots for the points, right? So now skip the series name, go to the X values and select the X's over here, and you're gonna do the same thing with the Y's. So you're gonna select the Y's and you select these 2 values over here. So once you're done, you say okay, and you see the 2 points are red. All right, so now what you're gonna do, you click on the red points and then you're gonna go to insert, all right, table over here, and you're still on the scatter plot, but you're gonna make them as a line over there. All right, well, the line is gonna be short, but it's fine. You can extend it if you want to later on, but by using the trend line, right? But this should be good enough. This is the same line that we get it earlier, but only generated by 4 and 9 as x's, right? And that's the end of 7. All right, so in part E, we are looking for the correlation coefficient, right? And here they are giving you the instruction how do you get it. For this purpose, you need the table. All right, so I just copy the table here. I need the original data. And as they mentioned, you need to just type the equation that they have there, equal sign first, and you type in correlation or correl, all right? So that's the function. And then once you click on tab, you're gonna open up the parentheses automatically. So it's asking about the array 1. So array 1 is the X values without the label. You select them, you put a comma later, and asking about the Y range, which is the array 2, right? And you select this and you're all set. So you see this number is matching the multiple R. So multiple R is the correlation coefficient. Okay, so we're done with the correlation coefficient. Now there is another value that I want to add it here. So the R squared, or it's called determination coefficient. And this determination coefficient is in fact nothing else than the square of the R. All right, so this is going to be equal sign, and only thing I'm going to do, I just click on this one after equal sign and then shift 6, that's the exponents, and put 2 in it, and you can see here the number is matching the R squared over here, right? Okay, so here the question is whether this relation is strong versus weak, positive and negative. So about positive and negative, so definitely it's positive. So you look just to the R and you see it's a positive number. All right, so if it is positive number, the trend line on the previous question, it should be going upward, and you see the line is going upward. All right, so that's what this means, positive or negative. And so this is going to be definitely positive. Now the question is whether the relation is strong versus weak. All right, for the purpose of strength, we're gonna rely to this table over here. So this table basically is saying the R values, they're gonna start always from -1, they go all the way to 1, and in the middle they're gonna be 0, right? So the values from -25, so from -0.25 to 0.25, this part here is going to be no association. Now this is 0.75 here, this is -0.75, and this is -0.5, and this is 0.5. all right, if the values are in the blue parts from 0.25 to 0.5. So they're gonna say weak positive or weak negative, right? Depend of the sign and so forth, as you can see, right? So if I am between 0.5 and 0.75, all right, so you're gonna be moderately positive or moderate negative, right? Now the strong one, you're gonna be in here, so the strong positive from 75 and up, or from minus 75 and up, well, in down. All right, so this is strong positive and strong negative, and that's basically what you are looking for, right? So obviously 0.9 for the R here is very strong, so it's right here, so it has to be strong. All right, and that's basically it for this question. All right, so in part F is asking for the coefficient of determination, and the coefficient of determination is nothing other than the R squared. All right, so this is already done. All right, so that's basically the square. How do you get it? After you get the R, you're gonna put equal sign, you're gonna select this cell and then square it. Shift 6 and 2 and then square. Now, what the meaning of this? So this is giving you how much the X value has influence on the Y value, or how much the X is predictive for the Y value. All right, and you can see here the sentence is already done for you, right? So the only thing you gotta do is you're gonna put this in percentage. So you have to write down 97.63% of the variation in sales is explained by the relationship with the advertising spending. In other words, the advertising spending, which is the X values, are affecting the Y values, or explaining the values of the Y values by 97.63%. And that's all.